Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. We'll start off by giving tzedakah. We do tzedakah, and we're going to continue davening for all hostages, and specifically Liyam ben Sarit. Hashem should be healthy and safe. Should come back very soon. And, everyone should have only good. Achta v'chesed. Also for the soldiers that are there. For the yidden that live in Eretz Yisroel, we should be safe. True peace. True safety. And the army, with the help of Hashem, should do the job and finish it properly. So we have no more issues. Okay. We're going to start parak base. And this is the last parak of this Maimer, Chav Gimel. And now after Chav Dalet, I'm going to fall down. Four more to go. Let's go. Parak base. Hine. The reason why the hashpa comes to us through the mazalos, because according to what we explained before about how we get the hashpa, assassins comes on Yom Kippur, as it is in Malchus of Atzilus. According to the first way we said, according to the first way of understanding, which is Rabbi Yossi, that it's not actually Gashmius, it's still spiritual. And according to the second opinion, that it does have in it, in the Chesed of Atzilus, Chesed of Asiyah. But everything that comes out of that, but according to the other opinion, that it's only still spiritual. So, in order to, according to both of those opinions, there's still something lacking. And in order for it to be physical, to actually get the chesed we need today, the way we need it, it's through the vessels and the garments of the lower three worlds. It's tayer behem to geshem, and going through those tzimtzumim makes it be able to become gashmis. Through concealing the light, that makes it a physical thing. Like it's known, all the mitzius is through concealment. Like it says in Bereishis Bara Elikim, and all creation is through Shem Elikim, which is Shem Elikim, which is the attribute of judgment and concealment to covering over the light. Yeah, and what we're showing is, it's like a weird part of reality, is that we need concealment. And this is, it applies in so many areas of life. A simple example is when you speak to someone, you have to mitzamtzim, you have to conceal it a little bit. It's like someone tells you, what do you think about what I just did? Now, if you have, if you understand that the person is very sensitive and they're not really looking for your opinion, much as looking to be justified in what they did and it'll make it sound good. So you can't say, I'm going to emit a chesed, I'm just going to give it to them the way they need to hear it. You're going to have tzimtzum, and you're going to have to understand that how to balance the giving over the information in a nice way without hurting their feelings, but also giving them what they want to hear. This is a lot of tzimtzum, and this is what it is. Like it says, like it says, like the sun and the shield is Hashem Elikim. Just like the shield, which is like the firmament. Which still covers over the light. But without this, the creation wouldn't be able to receive. We couldn't receive the light. Sun. This is an awesome idea. Give me 1 second. We're going to discuss it. Hine, Kain b'shem elikim, so too with shem elikim. Which conceals over the essence of the light. Shem Havai Mahava of the Havai that gives the light. I mean, like this. It's only the most miraculous things is that the sun comes to us and it's not too strong, it's not too weak, perfect amount. All other worlds that we know of, especially in our galaxy, it's way too extreme. It's not livable for us. For us, the sun is at this like perfect place between us and the sun, and everything works in such a like perfect way. It's so like if we understood it, we would be blown away by the miracle. And I think about it, every so often when you're sitting outside in the winter and it's cold, but if it's cloudy, or if the cloud covers the sun, it's colder. But if the sun is shining at you, then it's warmer. Now the sun is, what is it, 8 light year minutes away, or whatever. It's like far shit, far. It's very far, but miraculously, it's not too far. I think it's like if it's like 1 meter, like a few feet either way, too much. A few feet back, too cold. A few feet forward, too hot, and be destroyed. And it's in this perfect place. But part of that process that makes it perfect is also the firmament, the ozone layer. I think it's what it's called. That covers over, so it's not too powerful. Now, this ozone layer is very, very important. I know I grew up in Australia, and there was a stage when I was younger that they said there was a hole in the ozone layer, and it was very dangerous, and it was causing the rays coming too strong, and skin cancer was a big issue, and talking about it. But then they said, from what I understood, that through the efforts of people, it got better. But the point is, this layer is protecting us. And so too, we have the Shefa, Elikus that wants to give, but you have to have the Shem Elikim that conceals it. And it's a vital importance part of the process. And and like we explained in the Mashalim before, there's a teacher and the student, the teacher wants to teach, needs to have tzimtzum. Without the tzimtzum, without the elikim, without the concealment, it's not going to work. It's not a chachma to teach the student everything you know. It's a chachma to teach everything that the kid can get. And that's sort of what we're saying here. Because if the light is going to be without any of the tzimtzum, it's going to give it straight without any concealment. Then you lose yourself, and there's no you. You get blown away. And it doesn't help. Ultimately, it doesn't help because the other person, it's like one time I was at a Farbrengen, and this guy was saying stuff. It was good. Everything was good. It was just we want a keli for it. And I remember hearing it, and it was like too much. And I remember afterwards, I went to a friend of mine that was there as well, and I was like, it's a little too much. And he's like, yeah. He was like, we just weren't kelim. Like, we weren't there yet. And this is what we're saying. If the light just goes, and this guy was just giving, and it was very nice that he was giving, but we weren't the keli, there was no tzimtzum in what he was doing, so we just didn't get anything. When we came out of there, could have been the best information and change our lives, but we didn't change. Nothing happened. Not because we were against it. It was just so overwhelming. And this is what we're saying here. That the light itself would be no mitzias. The way to do it has to have with the tzimtzum. It causes the concealment causes the mitzias. And the more concealment, the more concealment, the more yeshus. It's a trade-off. On one hand, you have more mitzius. On one hand, you can get more. It's because we receive our physical world, which is the most distance from godliness, receives the most. Because we're so close, we can receive the most, but we're not going to get it. The more refined you are, the less you can get, but it's going to be too much for you. It's like someone is very sensitive to things, so you can only have a little bit of it. Sensitive to sound, so it can't be too loud. Someone has bad hearing, you can blast it off and they don't hear anything. So it's chisar, and it's also it's ma'ila. It's in terms of the hearing, it's not a good thing, but in terms of elikus, there's an advantage. You get a lot of elikus, and you just need to refine yourself to how to receive it. But that's what we're saying here. Yeah, v'chosha hester yezer nas yezer b'chinas mitzius hayeshus. V'zeh osha hester chesed kamoish nimshach ba'elam mish b'yezer nasiya on this at the kindness, at the chesed, the way it is, even coming down into the lower three worlds. Hine b'chol eilam shalamata nasa b'chinas mitzius yezer. The lower it goes, the more of a mitzius it becomes, the more of the separateness it has. Etchila mislabish b'levush in the bria. First, it goes into the world of bria. And as it becomes mitzius yesh, and it becomes mitzius legabe atzilus. It becomes a big mitzius in comparison to atzilus. Aval legabe lamata, but in regards to the world below it, ba'elam yitzira, which is yitzira who ruchni adain. Again, like I said in many times, it's all the perspective. So when you have atzilus and bria, so bria is a yesh in regards to atzilus. But in regards to Yitzira, which is lower than Bria, Bria is Ruchni. So on one in the world above it, it's coarse. The world below it, it's spiritual. And this happens all the way until our world, because there's nothing below us. We are the lowest. But everything above us is spiritual. And has to constantly do this type of thing in order to be able to go further down. If you'd skip a world, so to speak, it wouldn't work. It'd be too much. So you need to have the concealment. Atzilus in itself, in comparison to Ein Sof, is the concealment, is, so to speak, Gashmi, physical. Not, it isn't physical, but in comparison, it's much coarser. But for us, it's way more spiritual. But then the light goes through that, and it slowly, condenses it. It's like water, Niagara Falls, to our tap water. It's a whole process to go of concealment. And when this we understood, Diuk Lashin, Rabbeinu Nishmas Yidden. This we understood what the rabbis say. Well, what the Alter Rebbe says, because Akadesh, Jeremasi, Lahavin, Mashikas, of Pietz Chaim, don't understand what this is. Chaim, the Alter Rebbe explains over there. Shehuva Leel, Shetzarech Liyois Al Yedei Mavar Yitzira. It has to go through Yitzira. Vasiyah. Hanikor Gamkein Hislabshus. This is also called includement. The him loy came, but it doesn't go through these worlds. Loy haya poel bo'elim hazagashi. Won't be able to affect this physical world. Won't be able to interact with this physical world. V'hainu, meaning the v'chdei shetiye pulas hagashmus. Mamash bo'elim hazeh, in order to have any real effect on the physicality. Ein and masvik hadayin hayesh o'elim bria. The yesh of bria, the existence of bria, as a separate entity from godliness, is still too spiritual for us. Shehu yesh legabe atzilus. In regards to atzilus, which is higher than it, which atzilus is much more spiritual. So this is a big yesh, big physical thing. It's very separate. It's an existence outside of godliness. But that's because in regards to atzilus, it's so much closer. But in regards to us, it's still very close. Aval legabe yitzira, who ruchnei, in regards to yitzira, the world below it, it's very spiritual. It's like a little kid. It's like, if I was a little kid, the little things you can do, that's like, whoa, like, you know how to go to the party by yourself? Like, but of course, in regards to us, that's a joke. But it keeps on going up. And, and the person, like, you have a house? Like, whoa. And then that guy looking, and the person has two houses. You have two houses? Whoa. For us, it's all comparative or relative. The gamim hachesed hu shel metzius the bria yaver b'derech mavar ha'eses spheres the yitzira v'asiya hine adayin lo tiyah hashpaz gashim mamash. But our world is so close that even after all this, it's still not enough. Still not enough to affect our physical world. So how does it affect the physical world? Kiim tzarich liyois al yidei hislabshus kelim ulevushim the yitzira shemaylu master yois al elikim. B'chinas chesed elyon v'nasa yidei b'chinas metzius yeser v'slabish achar b'chelim ulevushim ta'asiya shemasterim oid yeser ulevushim yitzira, that even has to go through not just Atzilus, not just Bria, not just Yitzira. Just keep on going down through all of these worlds to have a more of a Metzius. So what we're showing is concealment is vitally important. And this is very important. You know, I heard Rav Patil said to some girls, he goes, your parents probably only tell you 10% of what they want to tell you. They shut them out for the 90% of the things, and they keep quiet. And this is concealment we're talking about. If they don't, it's not going to work. Concealment is very important. So I wish everyone an amazing day. Purim's coming up, so an amazing Purim. Should have only revelations and realize the concealment is a revelation. And Mr. Hashem, it should be good and enjoyable and have only good. Have an amazing day.